So now we will discuss about development of temple architecture in South India. Okay. So previously we discussed about development of temple architecture in North India. Okay. During Gupta's time, 5 stages. Then Nagara style of architecture we developed. Then Odisha school of architecture, Solanki school of architecture, and Khajuraho school of architecture. Now we will discuss about the temple architecture in South India. In South India, in early days, okay, so there was rock cut temple were there. There was no standalone temple. Okay, rock cut temple were there. So during Pallavas only those rock cut temples were developed. Rock cut temples were developed during Pallavas. South Indian were the Pallavas, then Cholas came. Okay, so during Pallavas also certain rulers were there, Pallava rulers. During those rulers, some unique feature were introduced in the rock cut temple architecture in South India. So that we will discuss. Then after that, we will discuss about Dravidian style of temple architecture, which were developed during Cholas. And the base of those Dravidian style of temple architecture is this. Okay, rock cut temple architecture. So Mahindra group, Mahindra Varman, he was the Pallava ruler. During his reign only, first stage of temple architecture in South India were developed. Okay, so during his time only, there was rock cut temples, not standalone. One rock will be there, they will use the tools, then engrave it and make the temple. Okay, so that was the style. And during Mahendra Varman time, the temples were called mandapas. Nagara style mandapas, or generally mandapas means it is a assembly hall. But during Mahendra Varman time, mandapas were known as a temple. Okay, then next Narsimha group or Narsimha Varman. So during Narsimha Varman, he just continued the legacy of the Mahendra Varman. Okay, but certain development were there. What is the development? Those rock cut temples were there, right? Now it is decorated. Earlier no decorations was there, but now second stage decorations are there with the sculptures. So that were introduced. Now under Narsimha Varman, earlier mandapa means temple. Now also during Narsimha Varman, mandapa means also were temples, but mandapas were divided into 3 rathas or different rathas. Mandapas were divided into 3 rathas or different rathas. Okay. Remember, this stage is very, very important because this is the basis for the Dravidian style of architecture. Narsimham group. So during his time only those mandapas were divided into the rathas. Okay. Mamallapuram, you know, Mahabalipuram, Chennai. There. That also we will discuss. Okay. In Mahabalipuram only, this example has given Mamallapuram or Mahabalipuram. There we have a Pancharatha temple. Okay, rock cut temples were there. Pancharatha. Biggest Ratha is the Dharmaraja Ratha and smallest is Draupadi. Okay, so this is the base for the Dravidian style of architecture. So one by one we will discuss architecture and sculptures which are present in the Mahabalipuram. Okay, because most of the architecture and sculptures were developed during Narsimha Varman time, who belongs to Pallavas. Okay, Rathas or Pancharathas are there. Those are also called as Pandava Rathas. So this is an early example of rock cut temples in South India. We have Dharmaraja Ratha, Bhima Ratha, Arjuna Ratha, Nakula and Sahadeva Ratha and Draupadi Ratha. So these Rathas were constructed around 7th century AD. Biggest Ratha is the Dharmaraja Ratha and smallest is Draupadi Ratha. See, this is a picture of the Rathas. See, rock cut temples, can you see? These are the Rathas. But here if you observe, decorations are there. Na? Carvings, decorations, sculptures were also there. That were introduced by Narsimha Varman. Okay. Then apart from the Pancharatha, what are the other architectures are present in Mahabalipuram? This is Arjun Penance. Okay, Arjun Penance. Here if you observe, there is a two big rocks are there. In these two big rocks, so there is a story. Okay, story about the, Bhagirath, who do tapasya to bring the Ganga from heaven to the earth. That story is depicted here. Okay, so that is depicted here. We have Devas, Gandharvas, so that were also present here. Here you can check. Elephants were also present. What happened, madam? So that is Arjun Penance. Then rock cut caves were also there in Mahabalipuram. Varaha cave temples. Okay, Krishna cave temple is there. Pancha Pandava caves and Mahishasura Mandapa temple. That means goddess Kali is there. Na? She is slaying the Mahishasura. Sorry, Durga, not Kali. Goddess Durga, she is slaying the Mahishasura, Asura. So that way then open their rock relief that Ganga's Bhagiratha or Arjun Penance. Okay, this one. So this were also present. Okay. Then next there was a one rock is also there in which is present in Mahabalipuram. Boulder, rock boulder, which is called Krishna ka Laddu or Krishna's butter ball. Okay, it is uniqueness is that rock, it is there in the slightly edged, but it never fall. That rock is never fall. So that rock is against the gravity. Okay, so that is about the development of the sculptures or temple architecture during Narasimha time, Narasimha Varman. Then Rajasimha time, third stage of development. Okay, during Rajasimha time only structural temples were started. Structural temples were started in place of rock cut temple. Example, Shore temple, it is there in Mahabalipuram only. Shore temple and Kailashnath temple. Check here. So this is a Shore temple, which is located in Mahabalipuram only. Okay, so Shore temple complex, actually this is three temples are there. In the Shore temple complex, three temples are there. Two is small and one is big. Two small and one is big. So here the temples are there, right? So what do you call? Shiva temple is there, Nandi temple is there, as well as this one. Vishnu is there, na? Vishnu, which is in the Ananta Shayana position is there, na? Sleeping position. That temple is there. Okay, in the Shore temple. But here if you observe, this is also made up of the rocks. Okay, it is having a boundary wall also, it is there. Compound boundary wall is also there in this temple. But finishing is not up to the mark. Okay, finishing is not up to the mark. Compared to that Solanki and Jagannath Puri is there, no? That one. The next, Nandi Varman. Fourth stage. Okay, Nandi Varman. So, during his time, most of the features are similar to Narasimha Varman, okay, Mahendra Varman and Rajasimha. But here, the size of the temple has been decreased. Small temples were made during his time. Okay. And the temples which were made or constructed during Nandi Varman, okay, that gave the, what I can say, that inspired to the Dravidian style of architecture. Okay. And after the decline of Pallava dynasty, Chola dynasty came into exist, and Chola dynasty, they have introduced a new style of temple architecture, that is called Dravidian style of temple architecture. Okay. So now we will discuss about Dravidian style of temple architecture. So as I mentioned earlier, Nagara style of temple architecture, it is in North India. Dravidian style of temple architecture, it is in South India. Okay, so now we will discuss one by one what are the features of Dravidian style of temple architecture. Nagara style of temple architecture, there was no boundary wall. But in Dravidian style of temple architecture, we can find a high boundary wall that we can find. And here entrance gateway we can find. In Nagara style, high raised platform, stairs, entrance to the temple. But in case of Dravidian style of architecture, okay, temple complex is there, right? It is enclosed with the boundary wall. But at entrance, they have a one gateway that is called Gopuram. Gateway is there, which is entrance to the temple, that is called Gopuram. Okay, and same it is there, Panchayata style, main deity and 4 subshrine, that is also present here. And here, the top of the Garbhagriha or main shrine, it is having a Vimana rather than Shikhara, steps pyramid. We discussed, right? Okay, so that is there. And here, one Vimana only there, that is there. In Nagara style of architecture, Shikhara were present even in subshrine also. Subshrine, but in Dravidian school of architecture, there is no Vimana on the subshrine. Okay, flat roof above the Garbhagriha in subshrine, and it has a Viman only in the main shrine. In Dravidian school of architecture. And same here, that Antrala is there. Okay, Antrala, which connect the Garbhagriha with the Mandapa or assembly hall. Okay, and entrance of the Garbhagriha or just outside of the Garbhagriha, walls are there, right? In those walls there is a sculptures of Dwarpal, Mithun and Yaksha. So these are the divine sculptures, divine figures or object of worship. Dwarpala, Mithun and Yaksha. Another unique feature of the Dravidian school of architecture, that is presence of water reservoir or water tank inside the temple. Okay, we call them in the Kannada Kalyani, and in Telugu Kundam they called actually. See here, gateway, entrance gateway, Gopuram, main shrine we have, assembly hall we have, Antral we have a Vimana and we have a subshrine, and there is a water body, okay, which is present. Now check. Brihadeshwara temple, okay. So many earthquakes were sustained by this temple. And this temple, it doesn't have any cementing agent, blocking technology they use for this temple. You need to find out the details about this temple. Okay. Under whose reign the temple was constructed, what are the material they used, granite only, what are the unique feature of this temple. Okay. And how they have, this is made up of granite, right? Height is also great height, right? See the top, right? How they transport? Cranes were not there at that time. How did they do? Any answer, madam? No. It is bottom to top, not top to bottom like Kailash temple. That's what. That is my question. How?
They built a ramp like this.
Are you sure? Okay, find out. Elephants. Do you think elephant that they travel vertically? They travel.
No, it's just like they built it with sand and then they constructed some ramp.
Okay, find out how. Okay. Okay, then next, sculptures of Cholas. We discuss about temple architecture. Temple architecture, Pallavas time we discuss. Then temple Dravidian style of architecture during Cholas. During Cholas also, very important sculpture, Nataraj sculpture. If you see the image, Nataraj sculptures. Right. So Shiva, it is a dancing. It is dancing on a dwarf, which signifies the ignorance. this sculpture, it is having a significance, okay, which is very important for UPSC point of view. This dwarf, okay, on which Shiva is dancing, right, that signifies the ignorance. Ignorance, okay. Then Shiva is having 4 hands, right. Upper right hand Damru, which shows the creation, Om sound, okay, creation. Upper left hand fire, which shows the destruction or symbolize the destruction. Right hand, lower right hand Abhay Mudra, not to fear, not to fear. Left hand, it is showing some direction, showing the direction of the path or salvation. Okay, earrings are there. One ear male earrings, another ear female earrings. Ardhanareshwar, fusion of male and female. Purush or Prakriti. Okay, snake is there around the neck, that represents the Kundalini Shakti, subconscious, what do you call, mind of a person, Kundalini Shakti. Okay, that represent. Then next, above his head, metal lock is there, na? Metal hair lock. There Ganga is there. So that signifies the irrigation to the earth. Okay, and this circle of fire is there, na? This is infinite. Okay, so this shows the creation, destruction, that cycle, cosmic cycle. So this is the significance of Nataraja sculptures. Okay, it has a significance. Understood? Everyone? So this is about temple architecture as well as the sculptures during the time of Cholas. Okay? Okay, then